that I get a feeling that there's a lack of respect from, say, younger generations to people like yourself, people who put the hard work in, who broke ground, OGs, as people would say. Do you feel that there's a lack of respect in hip hop, and do we need some sort of committee that you can oversee? You can't go at this cat, you can go at this cat.
I mean, like I know, a lot of these young boys don't really know about real hip hop. You know what I mean? And I think it's so important that they do understand that, be creative, man, and pay homage to the dudes that did it before you. You know what I mean? That's like respecting your elders, you know what I mean? For a nigga to not to respect his elders is like, you're very disrespectful, And my thing is that you gotta be real with it. You gotta know in your heart that real niggas is always paying attention to shit, you know what I mean? And a lot of these kids, they haven't come from that generation, so they don't really know no better, but you treat certain niggas a certain kind of way because you feel like you can, but at the same time pay that homage, man. Because homage is the most important thing in hip-hop that we got, is to be able to remember the days when Africa Bambaataa and all of them started it, and you know what I mean, Melly Mel and them was really like ringing bells with it. It's like they gave us an opportunity to set off something that created an ambiance for the rest of our lives. Hip hop will be here forever, but will it be here at the level of being original? That's the thing we want to know.
That's good. I mean, you said you paid homage to all members of the Wu that weren't there with you on the show. So you were rhyming to Ghostface's verse, Meth's, ODB's. That's a great way. I've never seen that before. Yeah. I've never seen that, because they would have the DJ play that part of the verse, but you did them, and you did them on point. It's actually quite good to see. Now, for this album, what members of the Wu have you got on this album?
Well, definitely for the most part, the whole clan is on it. I wouldn't have sat there and made Cuban Links 2 and didn't have them involved with it, because any album, when it comes to Cuban Links 2 and, Cuban Links 1, rather, it's like I'm always gonna remember that we did it together, you know what I mean? Every time we do an album and all of us is on it, it's supposed to feel like a Wu album. You see what I'm saying? Not so much of my single album, but I made it with that feeling where it's like, when you hear it, you're going to hear dudes killing it. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about dudes went all the way in again, you know what I mean? And I would never try to do this shit without them, but they on it, they shining on it, hard body. And it sound like a Wu album, for real.
Now, RZA was heavily involved and very instrumental in the first album, production-wise. This one, you've got Eric Sermon, you've got Jay Dilla, Dr. Dre, Marley Marl. How involved was RZA in the process of this album, overseeing it? Was he heavily involved, or did you take a forward step on that?
I definitely took a forward step though, but I would give RZA at least 45%, you know what I mean, hands on with everything, because he been busy taking care of his family and doing what he has to do. I can't sit here and wait and allow myself to wait time for another man to do what he got to do when we both got to do the same thing. So I had to continue to move on, and like I said, at the same time I was getting a lot of good blessings from brothers that was actually wanting to be a part of my project. I was getting phone calls, and where I'm from, you don't turn down a helping hand, you don't turn down a strong hand. And like I said, we just had to move on. But I'm a general, I've been doing this for a long time. So right now it's like I'm able to handle this mission. I got this, you know what I mean? I'm the conductor, and just being able to have brothers such as them kind of producers on the album is classic already, because you never heard that come together ever in hip-hop. You know what I'm saying? Where these dudes actually sat here and became a robot to what RZA studied. You know what I mean? It's like, that's amazing for people to really listen to, because when you listen to it, it flows perfect. You're going to love it.
You've worked with two producers who are arguably the best producers ever created by hip-hop. Two producers that have created a sound all by their own, Dr. Dre and the RZA. What did you learn, by working with them, what did you learn about your own craft as an MC? What did you learn from them, working with them, separately in separate entities?
What I learned from them is that you know, it's about your heart. It ain't so much about the status you on, you know what I mean? You gotta love what you do, you know what I mean? And you know, when I sit back and I know RZA, I know what he's always capable of bringing to the table, you know what I mean? I looked at Dre the same way, and they both like admired each other to the level to where, yo, me, I'm just a student still, you know what I mean? I'm a student being enrolled, but I'm sitting with generals, and we all got this special thing about music that we love. And I just learned that, yo, man, at the end of the day, be passionate about what you love to do. Word.
And I'm actually interested when I saw that Marley Marl was on it, because I don't think you've worked with Marley before. And obviously he's absolutely a legend in hip hop. And how did that come about? Did he reach out to you? Did you reach out to him? Because I just never thought that Ray would be on a Marley Marl track. I just never thought of it.
I mean, you know, I've always been a fan of Marley Marl. Like I said, when you go back to the history of rap, you know, he was part of the illest crew ever. You know what I mean? They was the Wu back then. You know what I mean? And you know, I knew Marley on some, because he got the radio show, the satellite show. Plus, he be on 105.1. So I already had hands-on conversations with him. But he would play a couple of beats for me, and I always be infatuated and picture myself being part of the Juice Crew back then. So I'm like, yo, I'm going to see Marley Marl, you know what I mean? Feeling on 1985 with it and shit, 86, 88. And, you know, we was just cool. But he had gave me this one beat, and he was like, yo, this shit right here, some Wu shit. I'm like, it's some Wu shit, you know what I mean? He like, yo, this some Wu shit, you know what I mean? And when he hit me with it, the shit was like a off piano sound loop sample with a twist on it. Like, the beat was just, it's crazy. And I actually love it because it's vintage Wu. See what I'm saying? You got dudes that studied RZA's formula, that really went into it and was like, yo, I'm gonna come with that dusty, you know what I mean, dirty sound that still sound like a sample. And that's what they did, you know what I mean? He came with some shit, and automatically I loved it. I kept the shit. I had the shit for like 2 years. Never put the shit out. Just had it in the vault. Like, that's one. You know what I mean? So people is going to be impressed, because really, I think that everybody is going to listen to this album and really don't care about the producer side of it. They going to be vibing off of how the shit work, how it sounds so authentic together. See, that's one thing as an artist, a lot of artists don't know how to do, is make an album that's one direction. You know what I mean? Dudes be going here with it, there with it. You know what I mean? It be going all over. But this one, it flows. But Marley and them, like I said, he get busy, man. He get busy. But people study RZA's art though, and I'm just glad to have a legend on board, for real.
Now, hip hop has waited for this album. I think everyone in this room has waited for this album. There's great energy coming from you. You seem really up for it. You seem positive. You seem in a great space. Yeah. Is hip hop ever gonna get? Because you might have stuff in the vault that we're never gonna hear. Are we gonna hear Only Built for Cuban Links Part 3, or are you gonna just keep it the 2?
You know what? I might just give y'all that, man. You know what I mean? I might just give y'all that, because it's like, you know, what else I got to do, you know what I mean? But one thing I will do is I will announce when I'm making different moves, you know what I mean, to let everybody know that I may go this way too, because, you know, I want to make fun songs. I want to make R&B songs and just make music, you know what I mean? But overall, it wouldn't be a problem to make another 3. My thing is, I'm just not gonna wait this long again, because I get better as I go on. But now I just feel like I gotta make these shits happen, like within the next 45 days if I'm gonna do them. Hard body shit, like, that's how I'm trying to go up in the booth. Nothing but hard shit, nothing but real shit. Get it done for y'all, get it out the way, move on to the next project. You know what I mean? I'm only at 4 joints, so I got 46 more to go. You know what I mean? I'm trying to have 50 joints out there on some James Brown shit in like fucking 10 more years. You know what I mean? 10 more years. Nigga be about 47 or some shit.